roads ahead. So, as far as the economy goes, I mean, nobody stopped effing my life. I don't have to F you for Hashem to destroy your economy. I just figured out that I was blindsided again. I know what a blindsiding is, and you all accomplished it. I'll deal with it, but again, your economy is probably going to crash. There's no, like Trump administration shouldn't take it personally unless they're part of it, because you can't keep the economy up if you're in office more than 6 months and they're doing this to me. I'm just telling you that's what happened to Biden. Right? When I was younger, God would let you all go a little bit more. But I warned you when I was younger that, don't do this my whole life, because as I get older and my disabilities increase, that it's going to get worse for all of you. Now, I should have got rid of part of what I had, because I don't have any money. Like if they're telling you I have money and they're just going to like ding some of my money, I don't have any money. None. Zero. I'm in debt. That's it. It's all it's ever been. You can't have money when they do this. It just doesn't work. You can't do it. Right? They get paid millions to cause you not to have it. Government employees included, while they're on the clock. Private sector paying. Right? So what I should have done is I should have whittled all this down to a trailer, a large U-Haul trailer in my van. Because I could purchase most of this stuff back for the money. Because it's going to cost me like almost $4,000. I could have got rid of all this. It would have cost me probably like maybe $1,000 to do it. And then $3,000 I can buy everything I got probably back over again. I just take the ark with me, my bicycle, maybe some of my electric tools. Right. But again, I'm used to it. They've done it in my lifetime. They'll go to hell for it. The economy will probably go to hell for it. Well, it's the timing is how you read it. Right. Well, because you can't outthink God's punishment. You can't outthink God's punishment for what you're doing in my life. Right. Just like I can't outthink what you're all doing. Now there's no way for me to. I'm not going to keep it here. They want me to see. They all willing something. Some of them willing for me to leave my stuff here. Because if I leave my stuff here, then somebody will be paid here to watch that whole thing. Just if I return, they're available to go into action. If they want them to break into it, they break into it. Right? No, they sell people like merchandise in the marketplace. But yet, Mr. Peter Thiel's part of that. But he's going to tell us about the Antichrist. He sells people like merchandise in the marketplace. But he's a big Christian today. Look, when the economy crashes, it really doesn't affect me all that much. Believe. Right. In fact, they might, housing might drop in price because everybody's going to start living together. Right. So apartment rentals might decrease. I'm not crazy on you. You're operating me. You're professionals. You're part of narcotics distribution. You're part of sex trafficking. You're part of the FBI. Part of the Mars Service. You're part of CIA. Part of local PD. Part of China. Part of Russia. You've all stolen my stuff and made money off of it. Even the idea of China. You all gave up and made money from it. I didn't make money from it. Right. Now you can come along, oh, China, take the stuff back. So now we can own it again. After we sold all the stuff to China and sold out. Right. They all scammers. There's just not enough time. If I try to get rid of this stuff, it's gonna screw the pooch, as they say. Right. I won't make the timetable to leave the way I was planning. Right. Just gonna have to take all this stuff and reset it up and try to pay off the debt. Maybe I'll call my brother, see if they can help me on the other side. I have, because he invests my mother's money. It's like an inheritance. But you know, she lives forever, of course, and I don't wish. If I willed to have her money, she'd be dead. I'll tell you that. I'm not like that. Great. It ain't all that much. Considering my age and all that, it's a joke. After what my family did to me. They're deep state, man. You all recruited them, and they do what you say. I got broke them at calling the police and all that, but that was the craziest thing in the world. Like I lived in a ghetto. Middle of Naples, I live in a ghetto with my mother. And she's calling like a ghetto mom. I'm calling police. Right. Now, it wasn't that all. Naples, Florida ain't all that it is anyway. Right. But I mean, where we live, there was nobody there. Mostly investment properties. But then when I was going to be paid in each one of those places in Florida, they killed it. Like, I don't know, the sheriff's stalking my mother like they're stalking me. And when she looks around and goes, I can't help you, looking around, I know what she's talking about. Pieces of shit. They'll burn in hell, every last one of these. The people that leave Florida and Texas don't tell you what's going on. The cops are pieces of shit. Disgusting filth crooks. They arrest the guy in Osceola and act like, oh yeah, we arrested everybody. That's the one, oh, you're allowed to arrest this guy. He's not paying us. The sheriff in Osceola is not paying us. He's not in our organization. You can arrest him, HSI. I'm owed billions. Based upon what they pay people for cases, I'm owed billions. Just on the cases alone. Right. Somebody gets a little butt hurt and they pay him $1 million. Like Matt Fogg, he ain't had nothing happen to him. All right. Compared to everybody else. So everything I told you like 6 months ago is coming true. I tell you, as soon as them job creation or job early out things hit, because you don't know what they're going to carry them. They can carry them as unemployed, can carry them as retired. If they seek employment, or if they seek employment, so I don't think they get unemployment, but they're job seekers. So I don't know how that works. Or they may not be. They might be retired. No, I never had a single day of retirement, really. Right. I could ride my bike every so often, but again, they killed that by killing me. That's not a retired life. That's not a life. Well, you're going to go to hell for it all. There's no out. There's no Jesus that's going to save you people. Part of a secret society of criminals that hate on and destroy their neighbors' lives. reason narcotics are here. They want to put their heads in the clouds. They don't want to see the reality. They're not the only ones that can commit crimes for free. So is the fentanyl dealer. So is the heroin dealer. So is the coke dealer. So is the sex trafficker that's in your society. We're conservatives. What a bunch of shit. There's no way with my timetable for me to do anything but just start packing and get out. It'll cost me it may even cost me $5,000. I didn't get myself into this. You all know that. Oh, no, we're just investigating. I would say, who do we sound like? They sound like crooks. Mad that I could see their crimes. Let me be. I would never seen anything. And they knew it. They come up in, when you're in Naples, Florida, they come up in the gym like they're your buddy. They're there to just, kind of be the handler, make you think that your life's going somewhere or could. Right. Introducing phony women, projecting their pussies all over you. That's what they do. They're pigs. Jen's a pig. Women with her wear pigs. The woman in the LDS church's a pig. She doesn't have the right to say, "Oh, they're surveilling the target now, and they're seeing whether he reacts violently to their gestures." No, you have a pussy, and you're a slut and a whore like Jezebel in the scriptures. You're a slut and a whore like Delilah in the scriptures, and you are bound for that most hellish hell that could be created for anybody who says man deserves to be alone. You all said in front of the Almighty God, in the presence of the Almighty God, around me, in my case, that it is good for man to be alone. I didn't play the game my entire life. You have no way with me. You have no way to stop what's going to happen to this planet. You said it was good for man to be alone from the DOJ. You will burn in hell. Hi, my, look at our buildings. DOJ has all these buildings and offices and money and power. Not even a microcosm. God will destroy you all in hell. You're the ones that crucified the Nazarene to begin with. DOJ, FBI, CIA. Metaphysics travel through space and time. But yet, KGB is part of it. You're all cronies in hell. Then you came up on this planet. Then you kill the innocent creation. Oh, he's crazy. Don't let him go. Call the loony people. You'll see the loony people, all right. Churches. It's good for man to be alone. Just give us some money. We'll make him alone. But we're conservative. We're the conservatives. Economy's probably going to crash before next week. Tell you the truth. They'll probably crash. You'll see signs the economy's crashing before I leave on Friday. Watch. CIA says it's good for man to be alone, but we're going to have an orgy here. Remember those guys? Now, Hillary Clinton did nothing more than try to protect her protection detail and all those guys. But that's who they are. Remember the orgy guys? Forcing people to sex and shit that was in the State Department? That's who all these people are around me that are running this thing. That type of person. Those are the only ones that got caught, but you caught like 10 or 15 of them. That means there's probably like 7,000 in government at least. Right? They hit it by going, oh, it's Hillary Clinton. So everybody wants to hide it then. Because it's politics. Well, politics. She just tried to save them because they work for her. She's like, right. Trying to fix it so it ain't broke. At least in their life. But it had nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, really. It had to do with the deep state. They were all deep staters. That's the people they're putting around me. Walking around holier than thou, being members of churches now. We're members of church. Praise God. Better the sinner out there. Praise God. Everything in the New Testament that Rabbi Yeshua ben David pointed out about the Sanhedrin and the others that were part of that thing is true about every church I've ever been in on this planet, except for the one in Fort Riley. And that was like 6 months or a year. I guess 6 months. Right before I left. You owe me $1 million for just simply what you did the last go round. That sexual crime committed against me, that psychological torture. You're very sick people, but you're really devils and you'll go to hell. All these people you all pointing to, they're not going to hell. Not at all. They're your victims. So first they say it's good for man to be alone. Then it says it's good for man to be with man. And then they said it's good for man to be with being, or it's good for man to be a woman. They're innocent. People that are gay, that are not part of your thing, people that are trans, not part, they're innocent. You thought it up. You willed it. You used your billions to cause it. Has nothing to do with a political party. In fact, the conservatives are the ones that laugh about it. Let's make that person gay. Ah! So they said it is good and paid money to cause man to be alone. They said it's good for man to be gay and paid money to bring it about. Used their personal will, made deals with Satan, had orgies over it. I'm not losing it. You lost it all long time ago. This is the reality of this planet. Do little pretty words. Oh, my little cookie. Are you talking about my cookie? I touched it with my cookie. No, it's your pussy, lady. And you're a sick bitch. And you're not my victim by any long shot. In fact, you think that? Anybody thinks that? They'll be fucked to hell instantly. Ya, arr. Flip the script on everything. You know why you did it. You're part of a secret society of devils that make sure that they appear to be angels of light and ministers of righteousness. Whatever police entity you just threw at me was just destroyed. Disappeared in an instant. Keep it away from me, it wouldn't happen. This is what they do to people. That's why they can shoot a kid in a van. Now, there is a good question. Was the LDS around that kid in the van that got shot here in Overland Park? Were they stalking him? Their buddy, the crooked cops put them into him? Get protection for their sex crimes when they do that? No, you threw the police entity at me to whack my head into violence. Anything like that will be destroyed instantly on sight. Whoa. And that's a metaphysical. Obviously, I speak metaphysical. Obviously, you act out physically and commit felony after felony after felony. And they pay you millions for it. And your boss, Peter Thiel, is going to tell us where the Antichrist is and isn't. That's most likely who took over law enforcement, him and his cronies. And it's not him alone, it's the others too. They just can't wait to put Vance in. That's really what's going on. 100%. Mid-90s, I estimate the unholy alliance of the techies and the corrupt government employees began, early to mid-90s. Early mid-90s. Now, the death of Jonathan Liu didn't have anything to do with Jonathan Liu. It had to do with the techies, the corrupt techies and the corrupt agents, and the corrupt CIA. But it's not even real. They just perpetrating a fraud. Like, oh, this is what we're doing. But they're sick bitches, man. They got no control over themselves, no control over the world. They just have all that money that CIA generated for them. Right? They wouldn't be rich unless they were given money. Some of them recruited in college. Did a couple of the other students. You know, you get those students that commit suicide in college. That's how they get their money. They pick one, they kill that person, then they're in. Could have been Elon. Elon Musk could have caused somebody to commit suicide in college, be part of a group of bullies. Right? As soon as they get to suicide, they go, you on, you got money now. They're not real people, man. They ain't smart. I mean, do you see smart in Elon Musk when he walks into the government and trashes it like that? I mean, really. You don't even see conservatism. I'm not under some illusion or delusion that I'm going to go to Ohio or Pennsylvania and it's not going to be there. But I'll be out of this bullshit. Now there is a caveat. If I get what I see where I might be going, I'm probably going to save $400 a month, and just I don't know what utilities cost, but in rent alone, rent and storage unit. But again, it's kind of hanging on a thread, so might not work out, which will allow me to pay it off quicker. I might be able to get a 2-bedroom for the price of more, actually cheaper than a 1-bedroom here, which would cut my need for a storage unit, so to have a spare bedroom. That gives me for, I was in Marsh Service, they were doing it. It's actually illegal. I mean, obviously it is, but just the fact that they do that to a coworker to diminish their product is illegal. I mean, it's a form of sabotage, but you'd have to charge it differently. Right. Looks like they got some rec yards there in Louisiana, or rec space. Right. So yeah, that was a big priority for that type of project. But it's just everything's built in that correctional science based upon multiple use or multi-use. Like in one of those cages, you can do a shake. You can throw somebody in there, not throw somebody. I don't mean that, but you put somebody in there for a shakedown, or because you have to just pat them down. You can put them in there. Separate people. You have a fire. You take them outside. You put them in those cages. Right. You don't have to worry about they're not just. I don't think I mean, I don't know what you're doing with the alligator stuff, but I'd move it somewhere else and put it back up if they don't let you use it there. But it's built wrong. That's the problem. It just didn't have the correctional science with it. Well, you could also reduce the number of people at houses if a judge has a problem with it. So again, that Judge Wacko, you're not going to get anywhere with her. Maybe the next judge will do something, maybe not. But as far as whether it's humane or not, if the judge finds there's an issue, so well, Judge, what would be humane? Would it be, could we reduce the number of people in each cell or something? Is there something which would make that where you would see it's more humane, right? So again, it's whether, depending on what the judge wants. And if the judge is against you, they're not going to say anything, not going to let you do it, I guess. But, and then a rec yard. I mean, you have to rec people. And it's better, like I said, to give more showers, more rec yard space, because then you got to worry about it. You get all your guards together, they move everybody, a large number to rec, and you make it so it's, a channeled hallway or something, right? Or not hallway, a fenced way, whatever it's called, right? And then it's done. They're locked in the fence in that yard. But then again, you get fights and things like that. So again, there are issues with that kind of thing. Well, you don't have somebody who's just gonna. Everybody's afraid to probably do a lot extra stuff, like something that you don't want. Like they don't even want to suggest, probably in a lot of cases. So you're screwed. Well, because you're not. You have to have like in the Justice Department, that attorney that was trying to work it out with the judge is what you need. But you need that person everywhere. You need that person at Alligator Alcatraz so you can look and say, okay, what can we do different? Right. Good people are killed in the government, believe me. Right. Nah, I'm screwed financially at this point. I don't even. I can't even get. Hopefully, when I get there, I can put in for more disability. But they screwed me. I actually had additional disability for my hearing, but they, that's how the attorney showed up, right? it wasn't for the attorney, I should have just claimed it without the attorney, and I'd already have a couple $100 extra a month, most likely. All these teachers, see how they're coming up, having sex with kids. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, I'm gonna find more cases. I understand some of the LDS have been forgiven over years. And they're saying that's probably going to go by the wayside at this point. Yeah, you gotta get off of me so I can heal this stuff. Like Texas cop arrives home to find wife stabbing their 9-year-old son to death. Right, that's a curse on the cop, but it could come from other cops. That's the problem, right? I mean, it comes from others, but then when the cops are part of it, that's what happened to my life. My coworkers were part of it, right? No, it's insane what they did. Like again, I don't think they knew everything that was being done to John Luna. But again, if they're deep state, they don't give a shit, right? Right. It's horrible. Wish I could have healed somebody. See, when you kill people out like me from the community and put me down, I can't heal stuff like this. I wish I could have healed them. Well, I used to drive around and heal people. I heal. See, that's the point. Like this here, where Texas cop arrives home to find wife stabbing her 9-year-old son to death. Investigators say, uh, I heal like that stuff all the time. You just don't know I heal it because I healed it before it happened. I used to drive around healing all that kind of stuff. Right. No, this kind of weird stuff's happening around the family. So that is trending. We need to heal that and things like it. No, it's going to kill me to move. I'm not going to have any more. Not that I have any money. That was one of their curses too. So. Well, if I get up in Pennsylvania, I'll be able to. I don't see. I won't have money to drive around. Really, to have gas money and all that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do it in Pennsylvania. By the way, I used to do it on my bicycle. Everything. I know I've healed millions and millions of people. No, they're sick people, man. No, it's not a small sale. It's almost the entire government to a certain degree. All you got to do is offer them something, and they do it. Right. It's a weird case. Oh, and they're Spanish, so I think they're at least, yeah. They got the Spanish curse on them too. It's a collective of curses. Like I'm Jewish, so I have the Jewish curse automatically. If you don't have a certain amount of money, you can't repel it. Search. Let's see if this guy's name. You also, oh, slave. Is this him? Got an award or something. If it's him. Where's him? Yeah, it is. He got an award here. Where's the husband? At least I think this is him. We get a Wilson County Lieutenant E. Sosa, cited for outstanding service. China. Is he from Texas Department of Transportation? Yeah, he's from Texas. It could be the husband. That could be the husband. See, there's another curse. See, he's got an award. Curse of the award. If you don't have money and status, it'll kill you. Just get an award. Right. They've got dirty coworkers and stuff. He's a lieutenant too. I don't think there's too many cops in that room. Oh wait. Maybe that's a different. No, that's it. It says that's what's in. She grabbed him. So. So he's a lieutenant too, so they probably cursing him pretty heavy. Oh, it's over on my website or my X page. It says Universal City Police Detectives. Oh, this one. No, his name's. Wait, that's got to be him, right? Or is that, it's not a different phone. Ah, there it is. Shit. Yeah, deep. It could be deep state. Here, look. Carnaby following him. They went after the wife. See, it's foreshadowing. I just started talking about my wife, right? I mean, it could not be, but it probably is. Right. Oh shit. Foreshadowing. I was just speaking about my wife being followed and harassed. Was DLDS? They got anybody down in that area? I lived long enough to see the fruition of their plan with the billionaire church people, you know? It didn't make any sense putting me out of the church, but now it does, right? Right. Thank you. Yeah, sick people, man. It's all CIA type science being used against everyday Americans. Doesn't make us safer. I told you all to meet Putin and Z a long time ago. Much more, we wouldn't even be at this level where we would say, that they're that. I mean, obviously, we're going to play that battle. I mean, look, corporate in the corporate world, they play that battle. What China does to us, other corporations like these billionaires do this to everyday people to steal their tech, and to other smaller corporations. They steal their tech. Either you give it to them or they kill you. You know, right? She could have been followed, and the part about people breaking her home may have been, but they may have gone up to her door and did stuff while the cop was not home. Right. Uh, I mean, it could. The part about the door could have just been people. It's just the effects of what they're doing, and they also could have drugged her, right? Like the door handle and stuff like that. So she touches the door, right? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe they were drugging her door handle, and she noticed that somebody was out in front of the door at the door, right? Yeah, they were trying to take. See the cop. Maybe they were going to take the cop out. I bet she's an honest cop. I bet she's an honest cop. That's what it is. Right. It's probably cartel. Cartel hired somebody deep state. Mhm. The husband's probably an honest cop. Probably trying to take him out. Take out the wife first. The husband is most likely an honest cop. They're going to take out the wife first and then use her to take him out. But she wigged out and killed the kid. Did she kill it? The kid's dead, right? Yeah. I heal stuff like that all the time when I drive, but I can't do it anymore. I don't have the energy. I don't have the money. I'm not older. Hopefully in Pennsylvania I can a little bit. And they don't care. They think it's funny, when that stuff happens to a cop that they're trying to do. Even the coworkers, man, coworkers that are like that, I'll never forget them how they acted when they turn on you. Right? Yeah, but Shelton, man, I was just like, what the hell is she talking? Like, I was thinking, what the hell is she talking to me for? And then like within 6 months, I was out of government, and the stalkers were there, and I figured it out. She wanted me to know that she was part of that stalking thing, right? The deep state stalking, right? Talking about Doug Bedman. That's I could have turned to an internal for that. 10 years later, she's talking about a prior employee. What the hell is she doing stalking him for? Right. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to keep. It's going to expand now because you fucked me beyond a certain point. Now we're going to see all the deep state stuff now. There's probably going to be a Carnaby soon. Somebody's going to shoot one of them. Not me, but a cop or something like that. Carnaby was shot by a cop. See, the Carnaby was most. I went back and forth. Carnaby's most likely deep state. Right. The cop just got fed up. But when they're trying to take the cops out, and they what the protection they have is that they tell everybody it's just they make everybody believe it's just like an FBI investigation. So you just let it be. You don't want to pull them over because right. But it's bullshit. It's like this guy Carnaby. It's fucking nobody. Just a fucking crook working for corrupt CIA. Well, the cop was like, "I'm going to pull." The cop didn't initiate anything. The cop just initiated a traffic stop, right? Because he was probably like, "Who the fuck is this guy? He keeps showing up around me, and life's getting weird, Right? I agree.
FBI agents, even former President George H.W. Bush. In court documents, Callanan writes, quote,
He was a deep state assassin. He was a deep state assassin. He was stalking members of Houston PD. One of the people being stalked pulled him over to find out who he was. Then he wigged out. Because he knew he was guilty of murder. Keep hacking my posts. It keeps changing. Like I'll fix it and then it'll get screwed. Like I'll start doing some other stuff and then it'll get screwed up again.
President Bush, former CIA director, will prove Carnaby first fled from police because he had confidential CIA information in his car.
And of course, he knew he was doing nothing wrong. So at that point, he knew.
Bullshit. See, you're covering up a deep state assassin. Right. Yeah, I gotta say, then Carnaby would do it. Because they're in it. If they were in it, it would make sense. Yeah, they went into shit. Change the inferences and stuff. They tried to cover that up. In that video, they try to cover it up. You can't flee from a cop. You say, let me get a supervisor out here. That's all you can do. Right. He knew that. He's afraid because he killed somebody. He may even physically killed somebody. Who knows? Right. They probably They probably didn't do any forensics on the guns, right? Right. Still got unsolved murders around that guy, probably. Let's give that to Houston PD. Elon's a crook. Knows he's a crook. Yeah, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna stir it up. I'm gonna give this to Houston PD. Don't block it. I'm hacking my post. Yeah, it had to be guilty conscience, and they knew it. That's why they go, "Oh no, he was protecting the secret CIA information." Like damage controlled it. I wonder if I should have moved to Houston. I was gonna move to Houston instead of going to Amarillo. I should have did it. Or actually, no. Instead of going to Dallas, I was going to go to Houston. Probably went to show with Houston. If they would have rented me a monthly rate room, the one I had when I went to pick up the trailer, I would have moved in. It's like, darn, that was a nice studio. So you want to mess up my life? I'll stir it up. All you time to stir it up. You can't believe it. Go to a church and they do that shit when you're 61 years old. Pieces of shit.
I'm pleased to announce.
Most officers believe it's just an investigation. That's what the psyop kind of puts into their mind. Therefore, the officers generally don't pull over the stalker. That's one of the few episodes where the police officer actually pulled over the stalker. And they'll sometimes run like FBI investigations next to it. So to give it some credibility, Right. Mhm. He's not going to say anything because the psyop tells you not to say anything, right? See, that's what the LDS is affiliated with. Assassinations like that. They tried to damage that, control that so fast. That gives it away. Even gives it away. They changed the they to I. Added a number after that. I want to do what you want to do. I lived here and everywhere else. I'm just going to keep going the way you think it's funny, oldie. I know the case was like coming to fruition. This lawsuit, right? Carnaby lawsuit status. That's Carnaby HPD. I mean, there was an update recently. It's still like out there, I think. Right. He's guilty. He's trying to kill cops. He's guilty. That's the kind of person killed Loon. Right. How people came around me in Texas. No, they were a bunch in Amarillo. Couple. Actually, there was a bunch in Tyler too. Right. They're staying at the Studio 6 where I was staying. They weren't there. I didn't see as actually. Yeah, they were there. You remember the first part. Right. They actually used the cops too. So what they would do is the cop didn't know what was going on. So what was happening? But God's showing me what's going on, right? So the cop just knows he's supposed to sit somewhere, and at a certain point, he's supposed to go in and drive around the Studio 6, right? But he's waiting for the Amazon delivery guy. So I go out to get my Amazon, And for some reason, I walked past the office and I looked to my left, and there's this cop, this Tyler cop across the street in the parking lot. It's just sitting there. It was like during COVID or just after it, or just after lockdown, I guess, or I can't remember exactly when, but but that time period. So I start walking back to my room, and then there comes the cop. I'm like, they're part of the assassination, right? Like I normally wouldn't see that. I'm not supposed to see that part of it. Just see the cop drive it. But I mean, they do that for like drug loads and stuff. But there's nothing. It's like an Amazon package. There's nothing to do with nothing. They just use that stuff as part of the psyop because they could just say, "Oh, it's an investigation," right? So how the phones stay working from? She's working for hand and stone silence. She's trying to raise a child. So what about childcare? I thought people can get childcare pretty or something, right? Single mothers or something. Mm. Maybe they just need to advertise that more. I'm almost sure she could have got. Maybe she didn't have it scheduled or something. Oh no, she makes probably okay money at that place. So a bunch of South Koreans got detained. They're all mad. No, Johnson probably just told everybody that Trump was an informant on Epstein. I said that like months ago. 2 months. Yeah, Epstein was mad at Trump because he knew something. The only Epstein knew the only way that the government had the information was from Trump, right? He's like that rat. Right. But Elon's a crook. Well, again, it gets to be like WWE if you start like, oh, he's worst of the worst and this and that. Be a little. You got to put some positivity in there, right? It's a police force. What are they talking about? Steve Miller's an idiot. Who are they going to train? Armed federal. What is it? A new? This doesn't make sense. Gets his very own police force. What are you talking about? It's federal agents, not a police force. It's criminal investigators. She's in both the applicants. They're 1811s. That's not a police force. That's just criminal investigators. They should have been cutting down that far anyway before. I mean, it is a police force, right? But you call it criminal investigation. That's the point with all these, the court. You know, when they cancel the affidavit in the court, that's what that is. They're looking at the applications, and either they're not, well enough, or they look like they're false. Right. Well, that's where it went wrong, where they allowed these applications to be submitted. Oh, what time is it? It's almost time for Shabbat. Not quite yet. You all will be destroyed constantly. Light candle 724, 615. Well, they're not supposed to have, they're not supposed to do that kind of stuff. Right. It's supposed to be a legitimate thing. It's just like, it's just all the nonsense around immigration process is just, it's deafening, I guess. Right. I mean, because it's like no other process allows any of it. Right. Well, I think the employer, like, I really believe the Korean employer, like, they had no clue because they'd never been required to meet the standard. You know what I mean? So I think those corporations have no clue. I mean, Koreans generally don't until you tell them, like taxes. You got to explain taxes to them and everything. But in Korea, it's like a different world, right? Well, people don't take taxes seriously in Korea. Agreed. It's not like here. It's a little more. Well, actually, now I think we're degrading into not taking it serious here. Well, I don't think that corporation actually had a good handle on what was required of its people. I mean, I don't think every case is that, but. I mean, I was just surprised to see the numbers. I'm like, geez. Where are we? Well, obviously, if it's a was it Hyundai Daewoo or something? Obviously, they could have got work visas for those people. I don't think there's any trouble getting. I mean, I don't think you would have given them 100% work visas, but they could have got a certain number. Well, it's always like Korean illegal immigrants. That's weird. I don't know. I guess some were Spanish. And now Korea, I think it was just more like a communication breakdown. I mean, yeah, they committed the crimes and all that, but I don't think they had a clue. They usually don't. Koreans usually don't have a clue about our laws, right? Yeah, Korea's response is kind of weird, but I guess it's a major corporation. You gotta say something supportive. So I'm gonna go into some pretty big debt. I'm gonna call my brother, get his moral support, or maybe not support. He's in Iceland. I won't bother him too much. My brother and my mother were part of it because they were running me into the ground. The deep state had their minds, man. And I told my brother finally, I said, look, I don't buy into mom's stuff when she talks about you. And it isn't a family thing. I mean, the deep state is involved, listening on the wiretaps and everything. I mean, they're sick. There's no reason to be on a wiretap, and they know it. Right? Yeah, it's like just really messed up because I needed to get massages before this time. Now I'm stuck trying to move. Now I'm gonna get some massages, but I was doing great, and I just kind of went over without getting a massage. And now I'm kind of sore, and I got to do all this moving. That's okay. They have Satan in their corner, then they'll get what God gives to people with faith. Yeah, churches are satanic, man. I mean, get off it. Every single church took money and sexualized. What sickos? Oh no, we're protecting the church. This is what this is. Nah, it's psyop. Or psyop in the churches. What sickos? That's like all these things where somebody comes in and shoots. Some of it's the psyop. Like the one in Texas. I don't know if that guy Jack was honest or not, but they did that guy. He was a target of the deep state. He went in the church. They did their little psyop thing, and then he pulled his gun out, and they all blew him away. Have been training for it for years, and then became heroes. Yeah, this is the way to be in church. Shoot people and sexualize them. They probably tried sexualizing him in there and he went crazy. Elmer Mateen was sexualized. That's why he went crazy. Oh, they don't do that in Texas. That guy Carnaby was an honest guy. Sicko pieces of shit. Sexualizing people all day. Like it's the right thing to do. CIA technology that they realized that they could make a lot of money off of, and they all leaked it. They have civilian operators that operate it. Anybody that's an honest cop gets killed. It's in missing exploited, but they also use it for extortion. But that's why they get rid of the honest cops, because they're not going to engage in it. They didn't want to risk being not a Carnaby, a Hanson or a Ames getting arrested for something. So they kill all the honest cops. Used to be you could be an honest cop and just not participate in it, Right. Dirtiest pieces of shit. Nah, I probably should have got the blip to get rid of half of what I had and then just at least half and then just take what I can, repurchase this stuff brand new when I get on the other side, but y'all screwed it up. Actually, that was kind of my plan. But they were listening on the wiretap. They wheeled it down because they knew it was a good idea. Satan's in their head, tells them what to do. Cops on a wiretap these days got Satan in their head, tells them what to do to the victim on the other side. Looks like I found my can opener. Not showing up too good. Never counted on God waking me up and giving me God's magic, you know. Never counted on that. I'm totally asleep, thinking it's funny that they're executing me in the Marshal Service. We're deep state devils. Figure I'd die quicker than Jonathan Luna, right? Here over 21 years later, I'm still fucking them off. And half of them are dead anyway, right? What kind of church person said, oh, you didn't want me to be a church person. You're going to get the other guy, the angel of vengeance guy. Well, that means you're dangerous. Well, dangerous to the devil, yeah. You won't be a church person, then you treat me like a church person. Get it? Devils. Major churches acting like devils using psyop. Pieces of shit. That's why you got shooters in the church, because they psyoping people. Right. Well, we call it an investigation. Well, you know what it is. It's a psyop. Playing that game. You know you ain't gonna get paid that kind of money for a simple investigation. You know it's a murder, right? But we go to church more, and we build temples. Gotta mean something more. That means you're bigger devils than everyone else. That's what it means. Then they're gonna launch my neighbor at me again. All stops out, pull out the last $1 million and pay everyone. All right. I ain't $1 million for that opera. That could be, I guess. Who knows what they got to pay the cops to be corrupt? Imagine that can be pricey. Figure out it had a full top on it. I guess it doesn't. Got out of making my own sauces. And, I can't find it. Yeah. Oh, I'm crazy? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the best cop in the world for what you do to people. For all those murders you caused, for all those sex crimes you caused with your psyop. You're just the best cop ever. I wish we all could be as good as you. We'd be amazing, wouldn't we? Then why'd you take all the stuff I told you and make awards and money and private sector notice of who you were using my theories, my leads? Pieces of shit. Every last one of you ain't worth a badge for nothing. Fucking made money off of my investigations and my inventions, including billionaires. Pieces of shit. Man. Fucking psyop people into crime and call it good. It's in the scriptures. You cause people to fall. Every last one of you cops dirty like that, you're going to hell. Every last one of yous. That's the only people that go to hell. Oh no, cops are the only ones that get saved with the LDS people. See how that works? Both corrupt, right? Well, Carnaby's people won. They took over Houston PD. You all corrupt now, aren't you? You work with Carnaby's people now, right? Psyoping people, making them crazy. Why you all want to roll over and pay that wench of a wife he's got, making blood money off of the death of cops? Assassins, killing police officers with psyop for the CIA. So their people could bring drugs in and everything else. Anybody who was an out cop either gets recruited or killed. Woman living on blood money. Don't want to be it, then don't be it, all of you. But you're going to be it, you're going to hear it, you'll get the treatment. Economy's probably going to crash because you did it so much, all of you. Laughing at people because they can't keep their sanity because you do this shit to them. Disgusting filth. Every last one of you. Probably killed that guy's wife because he's an honest cop. Right. Now she can't think straight and she kills the kid. Right. Looking good. I was just talking about what they did to my wife, and now his wife wigged out, but ended up killing the kid. My wife just killed me. She actually tried to stab me. I blocked it several times. God saved her and saved me. Right. No, they got my wife so wigged out she tried to kill me several times. I never called the cops. I'm good. I'm a good husband. Right. I guess she didn't return it ever. She lied. She did one of those things. Somebody told her to lie about me, you know. Right. Called the cops and didn't go anywhere. She did a PFA or a PFA or whatever they call it, but her lawyer talked to me. I didn't even have a lawyer. Her lawyer was on. I said, you know, and I knew I didn't need. I was like, deputy U.S. Marshal, you know. If it was a deep state judge, they would have told me to do me, you know, and then I would have lost my gun, right to carry guns. So he said, you know, let's make a deal with, let's not take this thing in, and you know, just leave the residence, let her have it, and that's what I did. But it's bullshit. She was attacking me and shit. And what happened is she ran at me. I stepped out of the way and she ran to the door and fell down. It's the only time I actually ever grabbed one of my daughters. I never hit him or anything. She was a disciplinarian. So my daughter's like, because he saw her mother fall down, she's like, freaking out. I'm like, I grab her, stop! Diana, wake up, stop! Something like that. I didn't hit her. I just grabbed her by the arms and shook her. She's about 12 or something. But but it like freaked my daughter out because I yelled at her. I didn't even like yell at him. I just be like, stop, knock it off. So the one time I yelled at him, she's like, eh. Let's put some rice in there. Nah, it didn't turn out like I thought. It was going to be costly on the move, a little bit more than I thought, by about at least $1,000, if not 1,500. Getting blindsided. God will take care of it. The economy will probably crash. You'll all lose more than 1,500, believe me. Probably more than 4,000 even. You know how it goes. You've been around it before. You just thought maybe you were smarter this time and it wasn't going to happen. I don't know. Every time the economy crashed in the last 20 years, they were doing me. I mean, yeah, it's pretty automatic that they do me, but there were some pointed things that were occurring. Like, it doesn't bother me. Whether the economy's up or down, I don't have any investments. I don't give a shit. I don't need to go to work, right? Who gives a shit, right? We don't care about more, right? Who gives a shit, right? Don't bother me what they do to you, right? You could have fired these people long ago. Decided not to. Decided to choose Barabbas. Then you chose Barabbas. Now your church is Barabbas. I agree. No, churches are psyop, and it's sick. There hasn't been a church that I've been in since like 1995. I guess is when I went back to the church or something like that. Maybe 1996. That hasn't tried to sexualize me. And I haven't went to that many churches, but enough. But you know what? If I'd have gone to church every day, all that time, you know, like all the way through that, they would have tried to sexualize me the whole time. It's CIA stuff, man. They're sickos. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.